everyone and welcome to another Wee Wardlaws online. My name is Caitlin and I will be taking you through some stories, crafts and rhymes based on something in our museum collections. Now with Lydia, you've already made some boats, some masks and some eyes, but today we're going to be making something different. Now, what will that be? Well, our theme this week is explorers. Now, what is an explorer? Explorers are people who make journeys into the unknown. Sometimes they find new land or treasure, but sometimes they just make notes of their journeys and then tell other people once they get home. People have been explorers for a really long time, thousands of years. People started off exploring by foot and then by small boats. But today we have astronauts exploring space. But sometimes explorers need tools to help them on their journeys. And so, in our museum collections, we have something that might have helped an explorer on their way. Here is a picture of a terrestrial globe that we have in our collection. This globe is a map of Earth, but it is in a circle shape, a bit like a ball. It shows where the land and water are. Explorers could use a globe a bit like a map to know what direction they were going in. With this globe, like most old globes, one of the main materials to make it was paper mache, and I thought for this week's activity we could use some paper and glue. In this week's craft, for the next thing to add to your museum collection, I thought that we could make our own circle map, a bit like a globe. So this is what I thought we could try and make today. To make one, you will need a paper plate, but you can just use a circle of paper, some green, blue, yellow and white paper, but if you don't have coloured paper, you can just colour in on some paper and then use that paper instead. A pen or a pencil and some glue. Now I have some hobby glue here, but a glue stick would work just as well. For our first step, we're going to take our paper plate and trace what we think the world looks like on it. Now I do have an image here to help me, but you can ask an adult to look online for one. Or in a book, and you can trace that. So take your pencil or your pen and try to copy what you see on the picture. Don't worry if it's not perfect, and don't forget to take your time. I've just finished tracing my world on my paper plate. So once you've finished yours, you can put your plate to the side, and this is where we get our coloured paper. So get one sheet of your coloured paper and start to rip it up. Rip it up into all different shapes and sizes, like this. And then once you've done one colour, move on to another colour. I'm going to yellow. Now, I do advise that you try and keep your coloured bits of paper separately just to make it a bit easier in a minute. And finally my white. Once you've done that, it's the fun bit. Now, I'm going to start with the colour yellow, but you don't have to. When you look at a picture of the world, you can sometimes see some lighter bits that represent desert or beaches. So I'm going to start with that, what we do. But take any colour of paper, get your glue, stick it on where you want it to go. I'll show you with another colour. We'll take some blue and we'll put it where the sea is. We'll take some green for the land and I'll stick it on here. And finally, we have some white for the North Pole and the South Pole at the top and the bottom of our globe. Like here. And here at the bottom. Like here. So we're going to go through it now and fill in our whole map. Don't worry, you can take your time. How are your globes coming along, everybody? Remember, you can rip up your paper even more if you have to get into any bits you might miss. I have a wee bit here, so I'm going to take a tiny bit of paper to fill in that gap there. Now I'm going to go back and do my oceans. So I am going to stick blue everywhere that my globe has some water. So you can continue to do this as well. Remember guys, there's absolutely no rush at all. But how did we get on with that? Remember, once you've done all your sea and your water, don't forget the North Pole and the South Pole at the bottom, and don't forget your wee islands everywhere. Now, once you're done, it might be a bit wet depending on the glue that you have in your house, so put it somewhere to dry, and once that dries it might look something like this. Now you don't have to follow these colours, you can do whatever colours you like. Maybe you were the explorer of an alien world. If you made a globe, we would really like to see it, and you can get Adult to send a picture to our email at museumlearning@st-andrews.ac.uk. The next part of our workshop is our story, and I've made the story today based on somebody who lived in real life. Captain James Cook came from Yorkshire in England, and he lived over 200 years ago. He sailed all across the world and he discovered new land, plants and animals. So are you ready for my story? This is the story of Captain James Cook, an explorer of the sea. He went on many big adventures. In fact, he went on 3. He started off as a sailor, a really brave chap, until he became more interested in making a really big map. On his first big adventure, he found islands, more than 2, New Zealand and Australia, and a really bouncy kangaroo. On his second adventure, he went really far south. He made tons of discoveries and then told everybody by mouth. On his last big adventure, Captain Cook made some friends until a really bad fight broke out and his journeys had to end. And finally, it's time for our rhyme. Now, you may recognise this one, but I've changed the words a little bit, so I will sing it the first time and then you can all join in the second time. How does that sound? You ready? An explorer went to sea, to see what they could see, but all that they could see was the bottom of the deep blue sea. Okay, now it's your turn to join in. You ready? An explorer went to sea to see what they could see, but all that they could see was the bottom of the deep blue sea. Brilliant, you guys are all amazing. Thank you for joining in with me. So I'm sad to say that's all we have time for today on our Wee Wardlaws workshop. Thank you very much for joining me. Hopefully we see you next time. And most importantly, don't forget to add your globe to your museum collection. See you later!